What's happening, beautiful people? Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to today's trading session. We're 10 minutes into the European opening, and here's what is happening with the markets today. European stocks are seen sharply lower on virus worries. The US dollar kept falling on the Asian session following weak data coming yesterday. Oil pushes higher to 41.30 following Goldman Sachs prediction, and the new hurricane is forming in the Gulf of Mexico. These are the headlines of the day, guys. Let's see what happened with the assets overnight on the Asian session. Looking at the charts right now, we can see oil pushing way higher, currently trading at 41.44 and aiming for a 100% correction, guys. This is how you use the Fibonacci tool. This is what the Fibonacci tool measures. Yeah, the correction or the retracement of the asset. And we can see oil pushing in the last few days above the 50% retracement mark, pushing through the 61.8%, currently trading at the 78.6%. Just a tad higher, and it will break the resistance level created, aiming for a 100% correction. Looking at the bottom of the chart, we can see the RSI and the stochastic way in the overbought level, but this doesn't necessarily mean that oil will drop. Let's see how it goes during the European trading session today. Moving on, we can see the euro advancing very, very nice on the Asian session, currently trading at 118.62. Started a tiny pullback as things stand right now with the RSI and the stochastic in the overbought section and apparently turning around. Yeah, so giving the market a bit of selling power. Yeah, we're not sure yet if this is just a pullback or if the euro is completely shifting direction. We're going to have a look at the economic calendar in a couple of minutes and see if we had any events that might have triggered this kind of movement this morning. Right, quick look at the pound. I already know we had a couple of announcements coming on the GBP earlier on today. Apparently, they came out positive, giving the pound a bit of a boost of pushing higher. The pound is currently trading at 129.77 with the RSI and the stochastic still pointing upwards. So there might be a bit of more momentum for the pound. Let's move on to USD JPY. The USD is nosediving against the Japanese yen. RSI and stochastic are still pointing downwards. They did not manage to reach the oversold level, which could make most of us think that the downtrend will continue a bit. Okay, it might continue until the RSI and the stochastic get to the oversold level. Let's have a quick look at the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar quite steady, but it pushed a bit higher on the Asian session. If you look at the last few candlesticks there, that is the Asian session, guys. And you can see the Aussie dollar not being really determined of pushing higher. Okay, we look at the RSI and the stochastic still on an uptrend, still not entering the overbought level. So there might be a bit more to this uptrend movement that we see on the Aussie dollar. But we need the markets to confirm that. The USD Canadian, the US dollar, although it strengthened a bit on the US trading session. Yeah, there it is. This is what I'm talking about, guys, because I know some of you sent me a few emails being a bit confused when I present the charts. What am I looking at? So being on a 60-minute chart, guys, yeah, for beginner traders, every candlestick, green or red, represents 60 minutes. So every time I will be analyzing the markets, I will be looking towards the right-hand side of the chart at the last, let's say, 14 to 24 candlesticks, yeah, which means half a day or a full day. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, we can see the US dollar advancing on the American session yesterday, and we can see it dropping after the US session closed, yeah, and the Asian session opened. Okay, currently we see the dollar very, very uncertain, trading at its lows, very close to its support levels, yeah, at 131.55. Okay, the support level, looking at it, from here, yeah, it's somewhere there around that level or a tad higher, somewhere there, yeah, somewhere around the 130, 141. Okay, so let's see what the dollar will do today, how the Europe session will push the dollar today. The S&P 500 and the Dow Jones luckily closed the day in green yesterday. They closed on a positive after initially opening on a negative. There you go, guys. Yeah, for beginner traders, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, the movement that happened there. Okay, we saw the markets opening way lower. Okay, yesterday we saw them dropping a bit, and they rose a bit just before the closing of the U.S. session. Okay, same happened with the Dow Jones. Let's have a quick look at the US dollar index, which basically measures the strength of the US dollar against a basket of currencies, about 6 currencies. Again, we see the US dollar index trading at its lows, yeah, very, very close to its support level there, or at its support level, we could say, yeah, looking at it. It's currently trading at 92.84. The RSI and the stochastic still haven't made up their mind yet if they want to push the dollar index a bit lower today, or it will literally bounce from the support level, heading a bit higher today. The time will show us. Okay, we're looking at gold, which is recovering. Thank God for that. Again, gold bounced from its support level. There you go. You can see the similarity, guys, between the gold chart and the US dollar index. Okay, they're both trading at their support levels. They're both trading at their lows, and they tend to move in the opposite direction. Yeah, so as the dollar index dropped yesterday, it pushed the gold price a bit higher. Yeah, gold is trading at 1961 as things stand right now. Hopefully, we'll get the power of pushing higher towards the 1973, 1980. Okay, and why not? We might see it going back to the $2,000 mark. Moving on, Brent oil futures again pushed higher. Yeah, you can see the similarity. Yeah, the charts are almost identical. There's only a small difference in price. Okay, with Brent oil trading at 43.73, again aiming for a correction of 100%. Okay, let's get the Fibonacci tool out. There we go. Okay, we can see it breaking through the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement, targeting the 78.6. There it is. Okay, the 70% correction. And if that's going to be reached, then most traders will probably target a $46 mark, which is a retracement of 100%. Okay, still, that very likely will happen at some point next week, guys, unless something really big happens today. That's going to give us the boost. Okay, going to give the markets the boost for the 100% correction. Okay, but this is how you analyze the markets based on technical analysis. Silver futures again played really, really well on the Asian session, starting a small correction right now, currently trading at 27.37, with the RSI and the stochastic pointing downwards, which indicates a bit of selling power on the market. Okay, so small correction is expected after a good rally of the market. Yeah, once the markets push up 4, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, then you will have a bit of a pullback. Right, and now your favorite, guys. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin, which is trading closer and closer to the 11,000 mark. It's still short of it. What is it? $24 short of the 11,000 mark. Currently trading at 10,976. With the RSI and the stochastic in the upper side, but still they haven't turned around yet, indicating a lot of selling power on the market. Let's see how it will perform today. Again, you can see the correction that the Bitcoin started. I'll tell you exactly when, on the 13th. Yes, so 5 days ago, Bitcoin was trading lower at 10,500, and it advanced almost $500 within 5 days. Okay, this is what I was telling you guys. Bitcoin has the ability of jumping up and down $1,000, $2,000 within a couple of hours. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, many people are really, really pleased with the movement as they're caught on the good side of the trade. Some people might not be pleased with the movement as they will be caught on the wrong side of the trade. But this is how currencies work. Right now, let's have a quick look at the news, guys, and see what happened overnight, what is expected to happen on the European session. But before that, I would really, really appreciate your like, share, and subscribe anywhere you come across these lovely webinars. And the trivia question of the day, guys. It's Friday, so we have an easy one. At what time the CFD market closes on Friday? Come on, guys. Very, very easy answer. Type your answers. We're going to start the competition to incentivize you a bit more to be more active. Okay, you might receive a huge prize wherever you are in the world if you get the answers right. So again, the question of the day is: at what time the CFD market closes on a Friday in Europe? Yeah, on a GMT time frame. Yeah, or GMT +2, GMT +3. This is the question. I will reveal the answer in the next few minutes. Okay, take your time. Google it if you want, if you want to get it right. But please do give me an answer, and I will give you the answer in the next few minutes. Right now, let's move on. Let's move on with the news and see what is happening. European stock markets are seen opening largely lower today amid concerns about the global economic recovery as the COVID pandemic continues to weigh. At 2:10 a.m. Eastern Time, the CAC 40 futures in France dropped 0.2%. The FTSE 100 futures in UK fell 0.7%, while the DAX 30 in Germany traded at 0.1% higher. Right, U.S. stocks closed lower yesterday, weighted by employment and housing data, which points to signs of a slowdown in the country's economic recovery. Data in Europe continued in the same vein today as UK retail sales rose 0.8% on the month in August, slightly better than the 0.7% predicted by economists, but still a sharp slowdown from the 3.7% growth seen in July. While a rebound of sorts is also underway in Europe as lockdown restrictions have been eased in some countries and businesses reopened, again in some countries, France, Spain, and the UK, among others, are grappling with a virus resurgence. This is what is happening, guys, when people are not really careful, and some people don't really believe in the existence of the COVID-19 pandemic, which, to be honest, guys, at this stage is just ridiculous. Yeah, so we have more COVID cases re-emerging in France, Spain, and the UK. Okay, let's see how that will develop in the next few days or so. Okay, and then probably we will get more and more details. Right now, let's see what happened. What statement came from a chief economist at ING. Yeah, a flaring in the number of COVID-19 infections over the summer months has made it very clear that there is no effective vaccine. Growth will be handicapped. That's what Peter Van den Hout, chief economist at ING, said earlier on. Right, let's see. Globally, coronavirus cases have topped 30 million cases, according to data from Johns Hopkins University, with infections showing no signs of slowing more than 6 months after the pandemic was declared. The death toll is approaching 1 million, with the US topping the list with almost 200,000 fatalities. Investors are still fretting over the Federal Reserve's decision not to add additional stimulus, while Congress argues over a new relief bill. And with the European Union's 750 billion euro recovery fund only due to kick in next year. Okay, this is what is happening in Europe and around the world. Right, let's move on to happier things, guys. The dollar was steady in early Asia trading on Friday after falling overnight as downbeat US data cast a shadow over the economic outlook, while the Japanese yen stabilized after rising against the greenback and the euro the previous day. The dollar literally gave up gains made after the Federal Reserve upgraded its 2020 GDP forecast this week to trade in negative territory yesterday. It was last quoted at 92,866 against a basket of major currencies. This is the US dollar index that I was telling you about, and was on track for a 0.3% weekly loss. A stream of US data showed the jobless claims remained elevated at 860,000 jobs, while both housing starts and Philadelphia Fed Business Index fell. The Fed this week said it expected the U.S. economy to shrink by far less than previously forecast in 2020 and promised to keep rates ultra low for a prolonged period. Well, that didn't help stocks much. We saw the market's reaction yesterday when and the day before when the U.S. indices and the U.S. stocks were dropping. Now, let's have a look at oil and see what is happening. I was telling you earlier on, guys, that there is a new hurricane apparently being formed in the Gulf of Mexico. So it's still not sure if people will turn back to work on the oil rigs or not. Now, this article will give us a bit more clarification on it, and I'm sure we're going to have more news at 4:30. So, oil price rose for a fourth straight day today as Goldman Sachs estimated the market is in a deficit and new storms started building in the Gulf of Mexico, putting crude on track for a weekly gain of about 10%. Brent crude was up 27 cents or 0.6%, trading at 43.57, while U.S. oil futures gained 23 cents or 0.6%, trading at 41.20. Now, you see, guys, both Brent and crude oil broke the $40 barrier for the first time after a long time. Okay, for the ones of us that need a strong oil price, let's hope the price will keep going up. Okay, for the ones of you that are caught on the wrong side of the trade, pay more attention to the charts and try to look for a getaway. Yeah, if you're caught in a trade. Right, now, let's see. Goldman Sachs said in a report that the recent storage on oil tankers of crude for future delivery was driven by transient inventory allocation dynamics rather than a rise in global stocks that would suggest the market is oversupplied. Right, Goldman Sachs analysts said, we estimate that the oil market remains in a deficit with speculative positioning now at too low levels. Now, let's move on and see what is happening with the new hurricane that is apparently being formed in the Gulf of Mexico. A tropical depression formed in the western part of the Gulf of Mexico and could become a hurricane in the next few days, potentially threatening more U.S. oil facilities. The Saudi Arabian energy minister also fired a shot at traders, warning them not to bet against the oil market and pledging those who gamble on oil prices would be hurt. Okay, lovely statement from the Saudi Arabian energy minister. Right, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and the other producers making up the so-called OPEC Plus group are cutting 7.7 million barrels per day of output to support the prices. OPEC Plus said yesterday the group will take action on members that are not complying with deep output cuts to support the market following a COVID-led slump in fuel demand. Right, wrapping it up, guys, in the Gulf of Mexico, U.S. shore drillers and exporters began to clear up on Thursday after Hurricane Sally weakened to a depression and started rebooting idle rigs following their closure for 5 days. Right. Don't get ahead of yourselves, guys. If we're going to have the second hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico, probably you're going to shut them down again next week. Okay, so oil price still under tremendous pressure with mixed statements and mixed news coming from all over the world. All right, just a quick one in the economic calendar today, guys. Yeah, we saw good announcements coming from UK at 9 o'clock this morning, so only an hour and a half ago. Okay, with core retail sales month to month and year over year, and retail sales coming out in green, most of it, apart from the retail sales year over year in August that came out on negative side below consensus expectations at 2.8% only. Right, if we have any Russian traders or any Russian ruble traders, guys, at 1:30 GMT plus 3 today, Russia will announce the interest rate decision shortly after the ECB press conference at 12:15. Then in the afternoon, we're going to have a few announcements on the Canadian dollar core retail sales, new housing price index, and retail sales. Okay, and then in the afternoon, we're going to have the usual closing Baker Hughes total rig count. Okay, still good day to trade today. If you're not sure, if you're a beginner trader, you can use market signals. Yeah, you can get, for example, the market signals from our friends at Forexc, which tend to work with an accuracy of anywhere between 65 and 75%, which is quite high. Okay, there you go. All you have to do is go on their website on forexc.com. And at the top of the page, you're going to see the market signals section, and you're going to have short-term signals, long-term signals, as well as their suggestion for the entry price, the stop loss, and the take profit. Now, stop loss and take profit, as you know by now, guys, are completely optional. It's entirely up to you if you want to set them. Sometimes it's a good idea to set them. Sometimes the market can be a bit funny, so it's entirely up to you how you want to do it. But the guys are giving you all the help you need as a beginner trader. Okay, this is what is happening today, guys. Now, the answer to the question, at what time the CFD markets close on a Friday? Yeah, in Europe, on a GMT plus 2 or GMT plus 3 or GMT plus 1 time frame. Okay, right, just before midnight. Yeah, that is the answer. So on a Friday, just before midnight, the trading will be halted until, and you're going to have to answer that in the afternoon, okay? After we have the US Open session, then we're going to have a question which probably will ask you, what time will the markets open? So at what time the CFD market closes on a Friday? The answer is just close to midnight. Yeah, depending exactly where you are in Europe, okay, just close to midnight, the trading will be halted. Right, this is it from my side for now, guys. Join me at 4:30 at the US opening. Let's ring the bell together for the last time this week and see how the assets performed today. Until then, remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money.